Okay, so in this last segment, what we want to look at is a manual process on how we can build, tag, and push images to Docker Hub registry, okay, to be specific. But our end goal is this, right? We want to be able to automate this entire process using Jenkins. But for now, let's first of all understand how it's done manually so that when we get to that automation aspect, it becomes just so easy. Okay. So first what? First, we are going to what? We are going to write what? Write a Docker file, a what? A simple Docker file using what? Using Copilot in what? In VS Code, okay? In VS Code. All of us have VS Code, isn't it? True of us. Okay? So this is what we are going to do. So let's keep it very easy. Open my VS Code. And I will say, write what? Write a simple Docker file to demonstrate understanding of what? Of Dockerfile instructions. What? Let's say what to deploy what? To deploy Nginx. So Nginx is the most common, like the most commonest image that is widely used as examples when it comes to Docker. So we're going to use that, and then based on our understanding on this, we can what? Then build some real-time application, okay, and look at how it works out. So you see, okay. So this is to take away fear that you don't need to code the whole thing. You don't have to do that, right? And you can see here, okay, this is our Docker file. Okay. Now, let's not be robots. Okay. When you look at this file, one second. Okay. Okay, great, right? So let's talk about something here, okay? When you look at this file, something is missing in this Docker file. What do you think we should be customizing in this file? Let me see those who are following. First of all, so we understand here, right? We have to add, from, okay, latest there, copy, okay. No, why do we need run? I'm looking at what we have, like this example. What do we have? Like there's something. It said we should copy this file. Do we have this file in real time? No, it's okay. The expose port is just okay, right? Expose port, we can define any port we want. Okay. What I was looking for is this. Okay. It says we should copy, but if you run ls here, look at bash here, okay? Okay, now look at something here, right? If you do what? If you do ls here, we don't have what? We only have a Docker file. We don't have the index.html file. We should what? Copy what? Copy the static website files to the Nginx default HTML directory. Okay, great. So we don't have that yet. We got again what? Go back to Copilot and prompt directory creation. Oops, 1 second. Oh, okay. Second here. Open chat. Okay, I see. Okay. Open charts. Okay. Now what? Let's say what? Write what? A complete index dot what? Dot HTML file to what? To deploy. Let's say want to what? Want to deploy, a what? What do you want to deploy? Okay, let's say what? Deploy an application for what? Let's call this application. Okay, let's do what? Okay. A school what? Management system. Okay. Put all the codes, all the what? All the codes in the index dot what? Dot HTML file. So in this case, I don't need to know how to code. I just need to know how to read the index.html file, and of course, deploy using what? Using Docker. So in this case, I have that, and I hit enter. So I have told Copilot to write me an application for what? For a school management system. So this file is what we have been talking about, as dependencies. Okay. There you go. Great. So this is the file. Looks like it. Great. See that? Wow. See? How many lines of code? Quite elaborate, yeah. Okay, so now we can do this. Okay, let's what? So we look at LSC. We don't have that file here. Oh, well, we have it. We do. Oh, it's there. See that? We have what? So we have the index of HTML file is already in our repository. So first we have our Dockerfile, and of course what? It contains the instructions. Each layer is an instruction, and it adds some weight to the Docker image. Okay. So this file now exists, and you can see the context as in the working directory. It is there. And the expose port, that's what is port 80. So now we can what? We can build the image. So how do we build the image? Okay. Now what? We do this. Two what? Build what? Build the Docker image from what? From the Docker file. That's what you want to do. So the command here is going to be Docker what? Okay, 1 second. Docker build. What are we building? -t. The name of the application is what? Let's call it our school app or Liwa. Okay, so in Cameroon, we refer to school as Liwa. The people don't go Liwa. So let's call it Liwa. Then what? This is the context. So this is the Docker build command. This is how you build the image. You can what? Build the image. Build the what? The Docker image with this command. So -t stands for tag. So by default, the name of the application is going to be called Liwa. Okay. And then this dot is so important. It's the context. So we can what? Let's test if our Docker is up. We do Docker info. That's a command to check. Okay, great. See that? So you can see if you ever want to find out, details about your Docker installation, that's the command that you should run. Okay. So now we can clear and okay. Let's do what? Docker what? Docker build. See that? So this is coming up because of that dev extension that I enabled. Docker build -c. T is for what? See that? It explains, right? So T is for tag. Okay, T is for tag. And then we just do name here, call it what? Liwa. Then this dot. This dot means that our Docker file is found in this directory. And in fact, that's the context that we're talking about in just a moment, okay? So now we can run enter. See that? So this is going to build the image. Okay, you can see all the layers that are involved. Okay. So this is quite important for you to understand, right? So you see how with ChatGPT we are able to make I want to say life, of course, we make our life easy. So the most important thing now is that you should be able to explain when you pick up any Docker file, you should what the first thing is to be able to understand what that Docker file is doing. Okay? What's the logic behind it? And all of that. There you go. Great. Okay. So now that our Docker images has been built, the next question is, how do you confirm that this indeed has been built, right? Therefore, what? We have a couple of commands that you need to run, right? Docker what? Docker image commands, okay? Very, very important. We have one, you want to what? List all Docker images. Please pay attention. We have what? This. Docker what? If you run Docker images like this, you will see that. And also what? Run what? Docker what? Docker image ls or what? Docker image list. Please, this is so important. Okay, so I come back here, I run what? Docker images. See that? So, okay, what we can see. Yeah, I see some. Yeah, we should be able to see. Yeah, I see that. Oops, 1 second. Yeah, see that? This is what? So this is our Lewa application. And you can see, okay, it was just built now. That's the Lewa application. That's it there. See that? So of course what? We are able to list all our images. Okay, our Lewa application, we're able to see it. Now, the other commands that we can run again is, of course, what? You can run Docker image ls. The same output, and again, what? Docker image list is all going to give you the exact same thing, okay? Docker image that. So what? List your images, Docker image ls. Okay. The next command is, which is very important, is Docker image inspect. So we have what? Docker image list is right there. And now we have what? We have Docker image what? inspect. Okay, what does Docker image inspect do? So this what? This simply gives you more information about your image. You want to see how many layers when it was created. With the maintainer, we run what? Docker image inspect. So here we do what? Docker image inspect. You can either what? Pass the image name or what? Image ID. Then just hit enter. That's it. So if you run this command here, see that? So let's say what? We want to inspect this image, Liwa. Now what? This image also has what? An ID. One of the best ways to look at it. Now if you look at this Liwa application, see that? This what? This is all about the size. It's quite heavy to begin with. To what? 225. Oh, that's the disk size. And then the current size of the application is what? Is 59, which is good. Okay. So in this case, we can do what? So let's go back here and copy that. So we can copy this here. Liwa. We can do what? Docker image inspect. Docker what? Docker image inspect Liwa. Okay. So if you run this command, you what? We're going to see details about our Liwa image. Docker what? Image what? Inspect Liwa. See that? Great. So the name of the image can be used as well as what? The image ID. So you can see the size, OS Linux, maintenance, Nginx, Docker maintenance. Okay. We have all of this. Quite cool. All right. So that is it. So now let's say we want to push this image to a Docker registry. So first thing what? I can do Docker login. So if I come in here, if I go to Docker images on my Docker desktop, you can what? I can see, you know what? Let's delete all of this and leave what? Just the latest one. I think we have Liwa, sorry. We have Liwa. Okay, take out this out. So, and okay, take this out. And now I want to what? We want to delete all of this. Okay. So that now if you run Docker images, you can what? Do you see how much space is being reclaimed? Okay, great, right? This is good. So now we have what? We have all our application, and you can see we have what? Lima. So if I want to push this image to the registry, continue with Google. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. So this looks like it's locked in yet. And so after we, okay, after we build the image, now what? We can what? Okay, by the way, right, let me show you something very easy. You can what? So with Docker, that's what you can what? We can we can start this application. See this here? But I'm going to show you how this is done, okay, in a normal way. But without Docker Desktop, we have a different approach. But now you can what? You want to see this application? We can run the application. Just run. See that? We can what? We can save this application in runtime. So you can see everything here. So now if you go to containers, see that? So our application is running. Now, we would talk about how to actually run this application and all of that. But yeah, so if you come here, see that? And we want to, okay, view file. So Docker Desktop what gives you a lot of stuff that we can use here. I think if you run localhost port 80, we what? See the application. Localhost what? 80. Yeah. There you go. Oops, sorry. Okay, I get it. So normally it usually comes with the URL. Let's see. Stop. Oh yeah, see that? The port is not exposing. The port not exposing. That's why. That's why. Okay, I get it. Okay, but it's fine. Okay. So normally, right, if the app was running successfully, you just what? You just click there and you will see the application. But it looks like yeah, it's running, but the port has not been exposed, and that is a problem, right? I'm going to show you another approach that we can fill application with is what is run the command manually, but now let's focus on that one. So now, so we did that. Now I want to what? We want to tag what? Tag and what? Push image to image registry manually. Okay, manually. So this is what we are going to be achieving with Jenkins via automation. And you notice that this is quite stressful. So, but what is more important is to understand the commands that are involved here. So first what? First, we have to go and create what? Create a Docker image repository. Okay, that's it. That's all we have to do. Then we have to tag the image and we push it. So you go to this. Okay. And let's go to, I think, yep. Okay, great. Docker Hub is here. Okay, repositories. Okay. Great, right? So now we're going to what? We're going to create a repository here. Create one. Let's go to what? Demo repository. Okay, you can see this one. So this is a demo. Okay, so now we have that. We want it, public, so it's good. And then we just do create. Okay. Now two things happens here. First, what you can see now there is something that we see here, very, very important. See where it says public view of what? Okay. So if you want to push to this repository, it has what? It has a step. It says what? Docker push Prof tech demo. Okay, so first we have to tag that repository. That's the first thing. So we come back here. Just what? Copy just this, okay? There you go. Now we have to what? We have to tag the image and link it with this repository. And then we are able to what? To execute this command. So we come back here. The image name is Liwa. Okay, we can do what? Docker pack or Docker image tag, we have what? We have Liwa, the tag is latest. Okay. Tag it to this. And then the what? The new tag what going to be V1. So what are we saying here? So of course what? Docker image tag, we have an image called what? Called Liwa. The default tag is latest, but now what? We want to link it to a cloud repository. And then what? We are optionally defining how we want to tag this image. And our default is V1. There you go. Okay, so now if you do what? If you run Docker image ls, now we see that what? We see that this image has now been tagged. See that? It's now been tagged. Great. So this was the image, but now what? Now we have linked it to a cloud account. So now we can push this. So we can copy that. And we can say what? Docker push. Make sure we have that correctly. I think I saw the command. We have Docker up here. Great. Okay, let's come back here. Okay, so we saw the push example, right? So if you click here, see that we saw what? So this is what? That's it. Docker image push, the name of the repository, no, the name of the account, name of the repository, and the tag you want to push. So what we manage in our registries are what? Are tags. Those tags represents those applications. Okay. So now, so in this case, we can what? We can do this. So Docker image push. The what? The tag there is V1. So come back here. Docker what? Docker push, and you can see. Now we can see what? Our tag is V1. So just click enter. Oops. Docker push. Oh, I see. We have what? See that? We have double commands. See, sometimes you have to pay attention, eh? Otherwise, you just start speaking in tongues, right? And you can see that? There it goes. And you can see, okay. So now, if you look at our registry, we should what? We should see our images coming up in just a moment. We should see a tag here. So when this is done, we're going to see a tag. So it's pushing. Okay. So see all of this push. Now imagine that each time you update that application, you need to come and run this command, you do a tag and I'll do a push, right? This is so time consuming and open to errors. So not a good one. Come back here. See that? Now if we do refresh, you should see our V1 just now. See that? That's it there. V1 pushed less than 1 minute ago. And that's it right there. So now we have that. Okay, been able to tag our image. So let's put in documentation. We want to what? So first we tag, and then of course we are going to what? We are going to for tag and what? Tag and push the image. So here we have B. We want to what? We want to tag the image. So in this case, this is the command. Docker what? Docker image tag. Okay. And here we are. Okay, like this. And then C, we can then what? C, we can push the image to what? To the registry. So in this case, we have what? So Docker push. Okay, now this one again, because what we've already renamed that. So we are pushing to this. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. The Docker push. And so the image is pushed like that. Now let's what? Let's now run the container. Okay. So let's see. So now we can go back to Docker stop, Docker desktop. And let's what? Let's delete this container. And let's actually run the container. So in this case, we can do, okay, Docker what? Docker run -d -p 80 what? So the container port is 80, the port forwarding is 80. 1 second. See that? We have what? Expose here. Very, very important. And then what? -name, our Liwa application. And then what? The image is Liwa. The tag is latest. So this is how you run. In fact, you want to what? You want to start the application. This is how it does. See that? It's created. So let's do this. And then come back here. Okay. And we can look at this example here. So now let's look at our Docker desktop now. See that? So now we see when you run the application like that, now we have our port. See that? So this is that application. We just deployed it. Can you imagine that? This is what? This is the app that we just built just now. We have what? We have dashboards, students, okay, create, and then what? I have attendance. So now you look at students here. Yeah, don't worry, okay? We'll talk about microservices in a moment, okay? Don't worry about that. So let's say what? It will say student is what? Student name is Prince. ID, let's say what? It says 901. Class is what? It's 1A. We add student. See that? There you go. And now what? Grade management. See that? Now we have this. Maths. Okay. Grade, let's say A. Okay. And now, oh, okay, I see. So we can what? We can add grades here. Numbers. We can add grade. So you can see that. Attendance management. See that again, frames here. And then we can do this. And then there you go. Okay. Present. There you see that? So this is cool, isn't it? Just what? We just built a school management system. Just like that. Make sense? See that? So what? So that is what we just did with Docker. So now, we have 4 minutes to go. I would have what? I would have now shown you Docker commands. Yeah, Docker what? Container commands. Okay, so this is good. Let's see if we can push this to GitHub repository. So we can do git what? git init, git add, okay. We do git commit -m, we what? Build what? Building a demo what? School management what? System. That was cool, right? Isn't it? So now we are going to deploy this same. When we get to Kubernetes, our goal is going to be able to deploy this using Jenkins. Okay, like that. Just deploy it via the container orchestration system. And so now we have to what? We have to create a repository. So we can come back here and we go to, okay, this is here. Repositories here. We can what? We can do create here. Because now, of course, what? I want to save that work so that we can always come back to it, right? And we can call this our what? Our school, okay, demo what? Management system, okay? Like this. This is a demo. And let's do it public. There's nothing there for private, all right? So there we go. Okay, now let's do this now. Now, if we want to push this, do we still remember Git, or we have forgotten our Git practices? We're still good with Git, right? True or false? Something we may have to revise also. Good. Okay. Excellent. The 100% Git is good. Okay. So now, this is it. And we can then what? Add the URL. So git remote add origin. Okay. URL. Now we can do what? Git push origin was master. Uh-oh. 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 Hello, hello, hello. Wait, denied to LionTech Abuja. 1 second. What happened? Hey, hey. Okay. I don't know this one. No, no. How can it be LionTech Abuja? What happened? What happened? Let's see. ls.ssh. Okay, I have my pop key there. So we can do cat. Okay, ID. No. .ssh. .pop. No, I don't need a personal access token. I just need because I'm doing SSH, right? So this is good. Yeah. We can add this public key. The issue is that this is okay, LionTech DevOps. Just maybe I don't even have access. So let's see. Okay, but yeah, I'm going to push it and share with you guys, but let's go to settings. Okay. SSH keys. Add a new one. Let's call this January 4th, 2026. And then there you go. Yeah. Okay, key is already in use. Okay, so it's a permission issue that I'm going to resolve. Okay, but yeah, we end here for tonight. But okay, so I want to share this repository with us so we can be able to practice it. You can what? You can build a school management system. Now, the goal is that what if we want to modify the way this application looks like? Maybe you want to add some features, you want to add some graphics, right? We have to what? We have to again build the image, we have to tag the image again because what? Anything now we add, it becomes what? It becomes a new feature. So this is why automation is so important. Make sense, everyone? So thank you everybody for today. Does anyone have a question so far? Okay, so in the absence of no questions, I want to appreciate you all for today.